Right, so one thing is, before we start the presentation, it's very interesting, relevant, eminent, and important that since morning we have been hearing a lot of speakers, all coming from different, domains, but everybody is talking in the same line. Now that's very important, which brings us to a conclusion that security is very important today and tomorrow as well. And we got to be prepared for the threats, for the kind of, the threat landscape or the kind of, threats which are coming through various vectors, not today, but then tomorrow. We got to be prepared for that. Now, hence it is very important that we understand that security is not just a firewall. Security is just not, just an antivirus. It's not just what we understand, but it's much beyond that. And hence we all understand and we definitely realize that, the people on the other side are acting much smarter than us. And that's what we need to tackle, that's what we need to cater to, that's what we need to handle with the various security solutions available. And of course, everybody is contributing to that war space, which is becoming more and more relevant as well as critical across the globe. Can I please get the presentation up? Thank you very much. Right, guys, so my name is Rahul Arora. Just to ponder upon what Sonicwall is, what we have been doing, really for security. We are almost about 30-year-old company, about 15 years in India, only dealing and operating for network security solutions. Now that not only comprises or restricts to network security, we go till the endpoint as well. We'll discuss that a little bit. I have about 15 minutes. We don't really want to get into products and solutions, but what we really want to talk about is that it is a landscape and a platform which is available and which is required by each and every organization today, irrespective of the size, scale, or the industry vertical, right? And everybody is in need of that. That's what we stand today as, about 200 plus countries across the globe, with about, about 300 patents that we proudly say for as far as security solutions are concerned. In the last panel, I was actually, just listening about this, about some sensors sending the threat intelligence, collecting that data, using that data to ensure that we deliver the right solutions derived by machine learning and artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence, right? Now, that's what we also do, and that's not a new thing, of course. Data which we have collected over a period of 28 years, with the exposure that we have today from about 200 plus countries, with the exposure of 28 million malware attacks blocked on a daily basis. Now that's the threat, that's the data that we're talking about. And that is how the artificial intelligence or machine learning gets empowered or gets enhanced. This is the data which helps us to ensure the solutions are derived and prepared for the threats which are about to come tomorrow, not today. Because what is coming today is already, we know about it, right? But then a lot of us have heard in last 2 years about, ransomware, WannaCry, Foreshadow, all of these names, right? Spectre and all of that, spoiler. But then all of these are tomorrow. We need to understand that. We have recently come up with this in last month with our threat report, which we do every year, of course. There are a few critical components I will touch upon, which is very important for all of us to understand. 10.5 billion malware attacks identified and blocked last year. That's the highest ever in last 5 years. Of course, we understand it's growing and it will continue. There's no day, no year that it's stopping by. Now, with all due respect, of course, I was here with the, during the presentation by my dear friend, from Fortinet as well. So that's what we are kind of, emphasizing on, that this is not stopping. When this is not stopping and it's growing, we need to be very critical and relevant to all the environments and deliver the right security solutions. Look at this. The last slide tells you the web app attacks. That's exactly what we have been talking about. A lot of applications, a lot of cloud, cloud domains, all of this. So of course, our web applications and web users are increasing, and so are the threats in that domain. So we need to cater to this. Global countries, top countries last year who actually observed the largest amount of malwares. Look at that. India is highlighted there, right? We need to be really serious about it. I'll quickly touch upon this, not everything, but then a few important things. The second part says memory threats. The last part says phishing down more targeted. So email phishing attacks are being more targeted now. It is not just that बहुत सारे spams आ रहे हैं, phishing आ रही है वगैरह वगैरह. No, gone are the days, right? We're talking about exact targeted phishing attacks, right? Hence, it is relevant to have the right email security at your premise to be done. An important thing, but till last year we were talking about the safest mode of communication, as in terms of documents, form of documents is PDF, right? Everybody assumed that PDF is kind of safe. Last 9 months, the majority, the maximum malicious content has traveled through PDF documents as well as Office documents. Now that's what the industry is saying. So we need to be really sure, we need to be really relevant that the solutions that we talk about today are inspecting these kind of vectors as well. And then of course IoT. Increasing IoT devices, connected devices, usage of IoT in manufacturing and all of that also gives us a lot of risk of being exposed, right? So that's what the industry says, and we need to take care of that as well. Now, an important fully loaded sheet, I don't want to really spend time on this, but then something which is very important. Third point here says 19% of malware have entered using non-standard ports. A lot of security companies, a lot of companies today, customers are using network security appliances, firewalls, which are proxy-based. You're not taking care of the non-standard ports, it means. About 20% malicious content, 20% malware is going through that. So you're leaving that behind. So you got to be really serious and look into that again. Just to emphasize the same thing, about 20% malware attacks are coming from non-standard. So proxy-based firewalls, we need to reconsider. All these names we have heard in last 6 to 9 months. Foreshadow, Spoiler, Meltdown, Spectre, Port Smash. They're not stopping. You'll hear a new name, a new package with a similar malicious thing. We're talking about, a malware cocktails these days. Names change, the packaging changes, but then the danger is still there. We got to address that. Wired, wireless, encrypted. Even today, when we go to, whether it is a government body, whether it is education, manufacturing, anybody, even today, when we ask about, are you inspecting your encrypted traffic? See, there are doubtful answers to that. We need to be really sure. About 67% is your encrypted traffic over internet now. So we need to inspect that. If we are not doing it, that's no good to us. Now, everything said and done, of course, this is the platform that we, of course, work on, which is cloud and as well as on-premise delivered, taking care of security end-to-end, starting with a firewall, which is network security, to endpoint, to email security, virtual, that is security for your Azures and your Amazon, AWS clouds, security for your cloud-based email platforms like Office 365 and G Suite. We're talking about web applications firewall. We're talking about virtual firewall. We also talk about wireless access points, smart and secure wireless access points, which can be cloud managed. And if you see Sonicwall cloud platform, Capture Cloud platform, and the first thing is Security Center. That's a cloud-based monitoring, management, analytics, compliance, auditing tool which can help anybody to actually look into getting the visibility of the network, what's happening. And of course, take a wise call beyond that, that what are the solutions which are really required for the environment which is relevant. I'm not, this is a little too technical, I'll skip this. Just to share, this is what we have done in last 2 years. About 64 new products, including the enhancements, about 16 million new line of codes. Now in India, we have, globally, we have the second largest R&D and engineering lab for Sonicwall in India. So that's the focus, that is the relevance, and that's the importance and existence that we have in India now. We have our own engineering, R&D, as well as tech center in Bangalore, which takes care of a lot of enhancements which we are doing globally, by the way. I'll skip a few things, of course, looking at the time. But then we do cloud security as well, which is much relevant today for each and every individual as well as the organization. I'll move this. We were, so earlier during the day. We of course heard how important is SD-WAN, software defined networks, and of course the WAN. And what is even more important is to make that setup secure. There are SD-WAN solutions available. Of course, they're very important and relevant to all the environments, but then to make it secure is even more important. We need to work on that piece. It's important, of course, to decrease your bandwidth cost, increase connectivity, a better application performance, and all of that. We understand that today, but then getting the right solution into your environment, what fits into your desired situation, is more important. We can discuss later on maybe on this. Email security. This is important. I'll spend 2 minutes here. So if you see any environment today, irrespective of the industry vertical, irrespective of whatever domain, small, big, larger, or small size of company is it, but then if you see, these are the layers that one needs to secure with. Starting with a network gateway, which is more of a perimeter thing, going to the encrypted traffic, then your emails, then sandboxing it, or maybe for the unknown threats, then talking about memory-based attacks, and then also at the endpoint. So gone are the days when the traditional antiviruses used to do the job for us. No. We're talking about NGAV and EDRs now. NGAV is next generation antivirus, and of course EDRs. So that's what we cover, all these layers for security required in any kind of, any type of, any vertical of industry, of company available today. Our performance in NSS, consecutive 5-6 years, we have been in the recommended thought. If you see the top two, so you'll see the top two on the right-hand corner. I'm sorry for the font, but then that's Fortinet and Sonicwall. There are details which I don't think we need to get into right now, but then these are the performance matrix and results. A few awards. Now, this is one thing I would request all of you, whenever you have time, we have our booth outside as well. We have a small copy of the threat report that we have published recently. It gives a lot of insight on what's happening in the global kind of threat area, and what kind of threat vectors, what kind of threat landscape, what kind of threat intelligence that we have gathered, which can be really useful in taking some wise decisions in your respective networks. So I'll urge all of you, whenever you are online, if you get about 2 minutes, just visit our website, download this report, really useful. We have a copy at the booth as well. We'll be more than happy to discuss this in detail and take it forward from there. One more thing, this is the last slide. It says thank you as well, so that confirms that this is the last slide. But then just one more thing, during the panel discussion, even Dugal sir came up with this idea that, the sensors sending all the data, collecting that data, using that as threat intelligence, using that data to make the right solutions. Also, sir did mention that, if we are able to identify those rogue addresses or, the original kind of, origination of those kind of attacks, where are they coming from, what are the countries, what are the IP addresses and all of that, right? If you are able to do that, that will be a good contribution overall to the industry, and we can of course take some necessary and informed corrective measures, right? If at any point of time, I'm sorry I do not have internet connectivity right now, but then this is a page from sonicwall.com. If you go to Security Center on sonicwall.com, it gives you everyday live update of what kind of attacks are happening, what are the top 3 attack origins country-wise, top 3 attack targets, top attack types, top 3 attack IP addresses. So this is the kind of dynamic website that we have on our website itself, dynamic page. It keeps changing. It's kind of live update for all of you. And if you scroll to the next pages, it gives you even further granular kind of details into what's happening. So this helps, and this is an information available for everybody. So that's a contribution that we can do to the industry to, of course, be more informed and take a next step. So with this, I would like to again say thank you very much. Pleasure having you all, and we'll see you outside. Thank you.